We are live again, just like I promised. So how's everybody's totally fantabulous Tuesday? I am wonderful. It's been a crazy day. Lots going on, as usual. Nothing new in my world. Today's pre-order day for all of you out there in Facebook land, that are demonstrators. So how much did you pre-order, huh? Some of my, as I call them, I kind of sort my wish list into two categories. Those that I must have and those that can kind of wait till later that I think I want and I'm on the fence about. And then there's number 3, of course, the ones that I'm not really attracted to until somebody shows something really cute. That happens all the time. Anyhow, what I thought I would do today, though, is something a little different. I did do a very, very small pre-order this morning because, of course, as a demonstrator, one of the perks is we get to, with our pre-order, we get the catalogs first, a month before they go live to customers, which will be coming June 2nd. So, if, like I said in my last video, if you do not have a demonstrator and you want one of those new catalogs, please, please, please let me know. Send me a message, and I will get one to you. One of the special things that I'm going to do today is with my pre-order, I did order a special prize that I will be drawing a random winner from anyone who comments on this video. You can be a demonstrator, doesn't matter, anyone at all. So definitely, if you comment on the video, you get one entry. If you share the video with your friends, then of course you'll get a second entry. And you just have to comment that you shared it. And I will definitely draw one winner. So with yesterday's video, we talked about one stamp set that is going to be retiring at the end of this month. However, today we're going to talk about 2 stamp sets that are not retiring at all. One of Stampin' Up's great demonstrators, Donna Griffith, she reached her $1 million in sales over the lifetime of her demonstratorship. And as a result, she got to create this stamp set. This is called One Wild Ride. And can you see that little motorcycle? Oh my goodness. I was so needing a set like this. So this is one of the sets that we're going to use, and we're going to focus on the little motorcycle and the little badge tab. And I'll show you some things with that. Then I thought, with Father's Day coming up, and yes, I know it's a month away, but still soon, sooner than you think, you'd want to get your supplies to get your cards done soon. So we are going to use this Guy Greetings stamp set that is also carrying over to the new catalog. And we're going to use Happy Father's Day and also a classic as well. So we're going to go ahead. I've got all our pieces cut. So I'm going to just give you a quick run through of the pieces I'm using. Those are the 2 stamp sets we're using. I'm also going to be using the Layering Squares framelit. Now, for those of you that think, well, why would I need layering squares? I can cut a square with the trimmer. And it's for these guys right here. These little guys have that perfect scalloped edge to it, and they layer perfectly with the straight pieces. So we're going to be using both the straight pieces and the layering squares, just so that you can see how they layer and work together in comparison. They are a salt and pepper team, let me tell you. Can't have one without the other. The color we're going to be using today, we're only going to be using one ink pad, and that's going to be our basic gray. We are going to be using a basic gray A2 size card base. So this card base is cut, if I can get it open, at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is just a normal, everyday A2 size card base. We are going to dress up the inside of our card because, yes, I do feel that the insides of our cards are just as important as the outsides. This is just a Whisper White sheet, and it is 5 1/4 by 4. So 5 1/4 by 4 Whisper White inside. For the card front, you will need a piece of basic black that is also going to be, let me look at my cheat sheet, 5 1/2 by 2. So this one's 5 1/2 by 2. We are going to use a piece of silver foil paper. This is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So this is going to layer on top of our black piece. So 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And as you can see, I have already embossed this one with the textured embossing folder of the brick. Now, when I embossed it, it didn't come out quite straight, and that's okay. I'm going to show you a trick as to what we're going to do with it so that it doesn't look like it matters. That's going to actually be our road, the old-fashioned brick roads. You will need 3 pieces of Very Vanilla, and these are the 1 5/8 inch straight squares out of the layering framelits. And then you will need this one is just basic black 1 3/4 inch scallop square, and those will layer perfectly, and I'll show you that here shortly. So first, let me, before I get started, show you what our card looks like. I'm going to start with the inside. This is our inside. We're going to use that 2A Classic off of our Guy Greeting stamp set. And then on our One Wild Ride, it comes with this little stamp here, as Donna Griffith calls it, her road splatter. We're going to use that, as you can see, a border on the outside of our card, just real lightly. The front of our card is like this. Ta-da! All right, so this here is turning our brick on its side, so it's more like a road map than it is anything else. Let me turn that light for you. There you go. Now you can kind of see, catching that glare. And this, of course, our badge. But we're going to do our motorcycle in 3 steps. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'll show you each of those 3 steps here in just a moment. We're going to stamp that guy 3 different times. You will want to protect your surface. I have a piece of Stampin' Up! Grid sheet, and I have just trimmed it down a little bit because I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat down below underneath of that grid sheet, just because with the Guy Greeting stamp set, it is a photopolymer set. So your stamps are clear and you can kind of see through them. So with a photopolymer set, you always want to put a cushion underneath. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're going to start today with the inside of our card. And we are going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and bear with me here. I'm going to move the camera a little bit so that you guys can see what I'm doing, because I can't zoom in and out in this mode, so bear with me. There we go. I think you guys should be able to see that. I'm going to move these things out of the way since I can't connect with them right now. So we're going to get our layering squares and set them aside, because I've already got pieces cut for this project, so we don't need all that. All right. There is that. Now you'll be able to see me. I'm going to slide all my parts to one side. So we're going to start with our basic gray. We are going to do the inside of the card first. I know we normally do the fronts, but like I said, I think that the front of the card is just as important as the inside of your card and your envelope too. So we're going to take the 2A Classic, which is going to be our inside, and we are going to stamp that in basic gray, dead center. Perfect. Look at that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so now set that stamp aside, and we're going to grab our road splatter. And we are going to do a stamp off technique. So you're going to ink up your stamp, but then before you stamp it onto your paper, you're going to stamp off once, real lightly. Just kind of do one of these numbers, smack it on the table a little bit. Then you're going to take that stamp and just lightly go around your edge. Then you can come back in and just add your darker pieces where you feel you need them. And there you go. You have marbleized, as I call it, your card. That's perfect for, you know, if somebody who does construction work or home repair. I think it looks like a marble countertop, especially if you would do that road splatter in more than one color and you lightly stamp off. I think that'd be awesome. So now we're going to just take our snail, door to the floor, and then we're going to adhere that to the inside of our card and just kind of center it up, eyeball that, and there you go. So that was easy. That was the inside. So now we're going to move to the outside of our card, to our card front. And we're going to take our basic black piece and we are going to adhere our brick road. So again, a little bit of snail on our brick road. And then we're going to center our brick road onto our basic black. Awesome. Looking good so far. I love the shinies. Dawn Griffith in one of her videos said she calls it chrome paper. I kind of like that idea. Alright, so now we are going to take our chrome paper, our chrome road, and we are going to center that down along the bottom, leaving probably about 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch of an edge there, all the way around on both sides. Okay. I can get it to line up. There we go. So now we've got our brick road. So in these top parts, this is where our motorcycle goes. So we are going to pull in our 3 vanilla pieces. And we're also going to pull in our motorcycle stamp. Now this I have from the Guy Greetings stamp set on the back of it, the Happy Father's Day, because I want to be able to see my motorcycle when I go to stamp it, and I just want to use one block. I'm actually going to take the motorcycle off and I'm going to stamp my Happy Father's Day, and I'm just using a piece of scrap, very vanilla. And we're going to cut this in just a minute. Alright, so we've got that inked up. So I'm going to take off the Happy Father's Day stamp. And we're going to put our motorcycle back on. Set him down for just a second. And then we're going to just cut this out. Nothing, it doesn't have to be fancy. No particular shape. I'm just cutting along the shape of the words. And leaving probably, like I said, 1/8 of an inch or so. And then what I like to do is come in here and trim off the corners on everything but the bottom. So my bottom corners I did not trim. I just trimmed all the other corners. Alright, so now we're going to get rid of all of our scraps for just a minute. And on the back of this, I'm going to place what I call the dimensional bones. So when you get a package of dimensionals, the dimensionals are octagon shaped. Or so here along the edges are these little bits and pieces, and there's some along the bottom that are a little different too. We're going to actually end up using both on this card, but I like to use those dimensionals, especially in this instance, because they fit just perfectly down there in the bottom of the section of that piece. So we are going to then bring back our card, and we're going to attach this sentiment to the front of our card, peel off the paper backing, and there we go. So now we're going to slide that over, and we're going to bring in our badge. This is the badge from the One Wild Ride stamp set. The neat thing about this badge is it has a coordinating punch. This is the Best Badge Punch. I love this punch. For a long time I did have the stamp set without the punch, and I had to, anytime I wanted a badge, I had to fussy cut, and fussy cut's not as much fun. But I'll tell you a little secret. Being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, one of the perks is I earned this punch free. So if you want to learn how to earn free products from Stampin' Up!, who wouldn't love free stuff? Definitely, definitely. Leave me comments. Let me know. And I will definitely tell you how you can earn free products too. So we're going to take our basic gray, and I'm just inking up the Life's a Journey, Enjoy the Ride. We're going to stamp that down on a piece of vanilla scrap as well. Don't have dimensions for this one. I just, as long as it was big enough to fit the stamp, that's all that I needed. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. See that? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the punch, and I'm going to try to do this upside down best I can. And you're just going to line it up in there. And it looks like, there we go. Line it up, punch it out. Oh, how easy was that? Much better than fussy cutting, let me tell you. I have fussy cut lots of these badges. Lots and lots. I use this set a lot. My family grew up in motorcycles and motorcycle clubs, and I've been around it my whole life. So I've used this stamp set on a few scrapbooks, lots of things. All right, so we're going to turn him over. And again, we're going to pull in the dimensional bones from our Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're just going to put those on the back. Make sure you don't turn them sideways so they don't peek through. Peel off the backings. Now, one thing I did learn from another demonstrator is if you run your fingernail across the middle of these dimensional pieces, it makes the backings peel up much easier. Much, much easier. And it doesn't hurt the dimensional or your project any. All right, so now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to place him right there on the front. So now we are actually almost done. So we're going to pull back in our motorcycle. Now it's time for him. And we're going to take our 1 5/8 inch vanilla squares. And I don't want to line them up just yet. So we're going to set 2 off to the side, and we're only going to use 1. So first thing we're going to do is the first half of our motorcycle. So we're going to ink it up. And we are going to stamp the front. Always let your stamp sit on your paper for just a few seconds before you lift it up. That gives time for that ink or the moisture in the ink to transfer into the paper. So now we're going to bring in piece number 2. We're going to ink up our motorcycle again. This is why we have the grid paper down here, because when we go to stamp this center piece, it's going to stamp off on both sides because we're kind of going in the middle. But then we get the center of that motorcycle, and if you were to put these two pieces together, it kind of looks like one continuous piece. You can line them up that way. Then we're going to bring in piece number 3, and we're going to ink up our motorcycle one more time. Only inking up the back half this time, and now we're going to just stamp the back half. So this definitely gives your motorcycle some movement, but without using a lot of paper or a lot of different stamp sets or a lot of different tricks of the trade. Just by splitting it up, it kind of makes its own little movement. All right, so now there's our back half. I'm going to flip the paper over. So now we're going to pull in not only our vanilla pieces, but we're also going to pull in our basic black layering squares. Remember I told you that I would show you exactly why you needed to have layering squares? Well, this is it. Let me show you this trick. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my vanilla pieces. When you flip this over and you line it up to your black, you get that perfect postcard scalloped edge. Let me show you a couple more times because we got 2 more. So you line that up. Perfect. Perfect scalloped edge. I mean, that is just the perfect size. Now, you could have went a little bit larger and had a bit larger of a border around these. But based on the way this card lays out, I didn't want to do that on this one. And again, just line it up. Leave that little bit of a border. So now we're going to flip these over. And then we're just going to take, in this case, we're going to use just the regular dimensionals. No bones this time. And dimensionals on the back of our squares. Alright, so now we're going to leave those there. We're going to bring back our card base. Peel off our little tabs. Here, I'll even use the little trick. Pull off our tabs with the dimensional. And now, this is the front of the motorcycle. I'm going to put him on first, and I'm kind of leaving a little top and side border of equal amounts. I'm going to do the same thing, only this time what you're going to do is don't do the middle. Do the back. So do the front first, and then the back, or do it the other way around, back and then front. Either way does not matter. And put that one down. We're almost finished here. Got one more piece. I'm going to go do the center. Awesome. Almost done, and there you have it. We're going to line him up a little better. And there you have it. Happy Father's Day. And voila, to a classic. So I hope you guys enjoyed that card tutorial. I'm going to turn this up so you can see me now. Hi, Roxanne. Well, hi, Linda. Linda's my Louie. For those of you that don't know us, Linda and I got into lots and lots of Stampin' Up! Trouble, huh, Linda? Yes, she can attest. We got into lots of Stampin' trouble. It's all her fault I became a demonstrator, because she took me to my first ever card club, and I was hooked, and I've been here ever since. So, and that was quite a few years ago now. But leave comments on this video, whether it's live or after, it doesn't matter. As soon as my pre-order, I'll leave the contest open until my pre-order comes in, which probably will be, let's see, today is Tuesday. Probably I'll leave it open until Friday morning. So we'll say Friday morning at noon. Well, I guess that's not even morning, it's afternoon. But Friday at noon Central Time, we will close the giveaway. And then you will be entered to win, for anyone that comments on this video, one sneak peek product, which I can't even show you yet because I don't even have it. Because like I said, it's so new, I just ordered it this morning. So you will have that Friday. You're going to get one sneak peek product. Thank you, Miss Linda. You'll get that. I will announce the winner Friday at noon. So happy stamping, and I'll see you soon.